Wonka is directed by Paul King, stars Timothée Chalamet as a young Willy Wonka. In terms of a plot description, it's hard to give one except it's about a young Willy Wonka. This film is about a young Willy Wonka trying to prove his worth. Wonka was my second most anticipated film of the entire year. The main reason for that being Paul King directing. Paul King directed the two Paddington movies. I love those movies, they have been incredibly well received, and I just thought he was the perfect fit for this material. However, I will say some of the marketing had me a little worried. Let's talk about the performances first. Now, I will talk more about Timothée Chalamet's performance later on in the video, but generally, I think he's very charming in the role. He brings a lot of energy, a lot of charisma, and that alone makes you want to root for him. And when it comes to the supporting cast, it's really hard to pinpoint one person because everyone is great. Everyone gets their moment to shine. So I would say this film really feels like an ensemble piece, which I didn't expect. One thing the marketing for Wonka has failed to show is that this is a musical, and I think the musical aspect of it works incredibly well. It is mostly original songs, and the original songs written by Neil Hannon are fantastic. They're catchy, they're fun, and the visuals Paul King creates around them are very entertaining. I've got to say, I love the screenplay here. I think there's something especially about Willy Wonka that's really relatable. This is a character that thinks just because he's hardworking and talented, that's going to get him where he wants to be. As an aspiring filmmaker, I really related to that. And if you are an aspiring filmmaker, I'm sure you can relate to it as well. Because I'm sure we've all had moments where we think we're going to make one great short film, then that's it, Marvel are calling for us to direct the next Avengers movie. And I'm going to give you some insight, there's a lot of steps in between those things. And with the Paddington movies, Paul King showed he knows how to balance comedy and heart. And Wonka is another excellent demonstration of that. This is a really funny movie. I laughed a lot watching it, but it has a really heartfelt core. I can't lie, I teared up a few times in the third act of this movie. And how Paul King weaves the comedy and the heartfelt moments is perfect. Now, I do have a few issues with Wonka. As I said, I do think Timothée Chalamet is charming in the role, but it did take me a while to get used to his performance. His performance is very bombastic, and in the first 15 to 20 minutes of the movie, I wasn't sure if that was going to work for me. But once the script starts to ground Willy Wonka as a character, that's when Timothée Chalamet finds a really nice balance of the exuberance but also composure. Also, there is a fair amount of exposition in this movie, and while I understand the information we're given is necessary to care about the characters, the way in which that information is given to us can come off as quite repetitive, as every scene that explains a backstory is executed in a similar fashion. I will say there are absolutely certain things you can nitpick about Wonka. The thing is, you can either go with it or you can just let those nitpicks consume you, and I went with it. I had a great time watching Wonka. I highly recommend Wonka. I think it's a great film to take your family to see this Christmas season, and I really hope it does well at the box office. I'm going to give Wonka an A-. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. You guys are awesome. Blu-ray Billy, logging off.